Hey, this is Dimitris, the Curious Tanguero. My goal is to bring more people to tango and more tango to people. I hope you'll find this episode useful and that you'll share it with your friends. Today we're going to discuss Enrosques. Oh, the beauty. Oh, the elegance of this Enrosque. You look like you're flying above the floor. I mean, look at those feet, right? Amazing. And then, something's going wrong. You're tilting. And she has to help you straight. She's supporting you now so that you don't fall during this very elegant enrosque. At least the people who were watching you didn't notice. Or did they? It's kind of embarrassing though. You smile at her, you make a decision. No more enrosques in this tanda. Let's not destroy this beautiful dance once again. Let's stick to giving her some more planeos to do while we are as leaders on both our feet. I've been there many times, and I still get to enjoy the occasional embarrassment. But I learned a few tricks to preserve my balance and stabilize myself. The first came from a transfer of knowledge. If you're not familiar with a concept, it is simply the practice of transferring knowledge, experience, and neuromuscular connections from one movement to the other. In other words, you take something your body already knows and you transfer that understanding to a movement that you're still improving. So here it is. In a normal ocho, you bring the feet together at the end of the pivot, right? You do the pivot, you bring the feet together. You have practiced that probably thousands of times. In the enrosque, you're doing the same. The cross happens at the end of the pivot. That's what an enrosque is, right? Of course, you can experiment to do the cross earlier, but if you choose to do the cross at the end, so aka bringing your feet together at the moment where you're bringing your feet together, then what your body has practiced doing thousands of times after a pivot, when you were practicing your ochos, can be passed to the enrosque. You choose to do an enrosque as similar as possible to the pivot so that your body's wisdom, mechanics, stabilization muscles, etc. become available in a natural way that you don't have to think of. On the Curious Tanguero Newsletter, I sent out an email called What's an Enrosque? So if you haven't received it yet, or if you're not a member of the newsletter, join the newsletter, thecurioustanguero.com, or feel free to text me and I will send it to you. What I mentioned there is that an enrosque is a lazy pivot. And the word lazy gives a hint related to the timing. Keep that in mind while we explore the timing of the enrosque. Let's try that with me. First, take a forward step and dissociate to the left. So basically turn your chest a little bit to the left, right? So you take a forward left step, a step with your left foot, right? And you turn your chest towards the left. Then you begin to pivot to the left. Progressively, the back leg comes closer together. Keep in mind that this is not a specific moment, but a process. And then the collection process starts at the beginning of the pivot and ends at the end of the pivot. It's a whole process during the pivot. So if you forget to be lazy and you collect it earlier, it might make you lose your balance. So try to do that exactly for the duration of the pivot itself. Now, a correction tip. If your axis is too forward, you might end up with your weight too much on the front. When you feel this imbalance, it is normal to try to correct it by stepping on the back leg. All right, here's your cue. You need to be able to slightly lift the heel of the front leg during the enrosque. If not, repeat the movement with your axis a little bit more to the back. Okay? See what happens. Find where your axis creates a more stable enrosque and don't forget to be lazy about it. In other words, project your step with your left leg forward, keep your right leg back, and then experiment. Put all your weight to the front of the foot and do an enrosque. See if you fall towards a certain direction. See if you're forced to step on the other leg or, whatever is the result. Then try the same thing with all your weight, more of your weight towards the heel and do the enrosque again. Then move the weight to the middle and try it again. See the results of where your initial weight is, how that influences your Enrosque at the end. So if I start with my weight of the base leg on the front, what happens to my dance? If I step on the back, what happens? And that will give you a way to correct yourself, because every time you fall on on your back leg, after a while you will know, oh, I fell on the back leg because I had my weight of the front leg there. Every time I have the weight on my front leg, I fall on the back. So you know what to correct at the beginning of the movement, which is more important. So what you just did was to understand if your initial axis position and weight distribution is correct, based on what happens to you at the end of the movement. Can you lift the heel of the front leg? Now, there's one more way to identify the correct initial position. Start with your legs together. Push up so that you are on your toes. The neutral position you're looking for is the one where when you push up, your body doesn't need to move forward or backward. The moment you push up, and you can use a mirror to check that, you should always go up, or only up, not forward or back, right? If you have your weight too much on the front of your base leg, the moment you start pushing yourself up, you're going to fall forward. If you have your weight too much on the back, the moment you try to push, you're probably going to fall back. So there must be a position somewhere in the middle where your body will just go up, not forward nor back. And you really need that position if you want to do an Enrosque. You want to be able to go up and not forward or back, because then you're going to start leaning and you will fall when the pivot happens. If you enjoyed what you learned in this episode, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your friends. That's what social media and messaging apps are for. You'll be helping them and helping me, and you're giving me more reasons to create more content like this for you. The second best thing you can do is to visit the CuriousTanguero.com/Argentine Tango webpage. You're going to find a lot of free and paid resources to help you improve and enjoy your tango. I'm updating the website often with new stuff, so make sure to revisit every once in a while. TheCuriousTanguero.com/Argentine Tango. Thank you for listening. Enjoy your tango.